I'm looking for these light wines, and some of them want non-alcoholic wines completely, which basically is a grape juice. But okay, that's what I want. That is related to alcohol, especially wine, but any agriculture product basically is the climate change issues. In the climate change era, there will be winners and losers. Things are beginning to see who the winners will be and who the losers will be. We all lose, but certain countries are not going to be affected. Perhaps in certain ways there will be the positive impact. What area is likely to start to produce the really good wines? Drinking a link with culture, history, and business. Presented everything is covers some history, some geography, some aesthetics, economics, even politics. In England, the British wine market is growing. There will be areas that will be positively impacted. People making wine in other areas, traditional areas, in Australia, they are going to have to deal with the excessive heat or the excessive drought. Perhaps the kinds of wines that will be coming out, Italy, France, in Germany, and perhaps they will be somewhat different in the future. They will be using the different kind of grapes and different winemaking techniques in order to adjust to climate change. Geography of winemaking now, there are new latitude wines. We have wines from Vietnam, India, and Thailand, and Myanmar. They are making wine. The people producing the wine, they have good locations. It is cool, high altitudes, and they have really high level winemaking skill. I'm talking about wines. French winemakers, they don't like to be told how to make what goes on their bottles or what goes on them. If Paris is the heart of France, then this is a soul, 1,000 years of history charted into the soil, producing not just a multi-billion dollars industry, but an identity and culture. The part of their civilizations, wine as a bread of Christ. The health ministry wants to cut down on the number of pregnant women drinking by enlarging the label of a bottle of wine. Someone suggested this, where it currently looks like that. Winemaker is not just the sour grapes, they worried their product could be targeted with the same brush as cigarettes. They are afraid to see the positivity to having alcohol kills on their bottles, and they consider that it is really excessive. A 2017 study showed some 27% of pregnant women in France drinking alcohol, compared to nearly 15% in the United States, and Ireland is targeting 60%. This is a label, it's a small warnings, and it's not visible. It's not understandable that when you have your bottle in your hand, We have only one advice to give to the women. Don't drink if you are pregnant. Both sides know it's a personal choice, when potentially with a serious consequences. France's Ministry of Health says it's not about prohibition, but prevention. Preventions. It's a prevention. Are largely about to start the conversation to both new, healthy lifestyle within the French culture. And take this into consideration. Last year, 8,000 babies were born with neurological disabilities linked to alcohol consumptions. Alcohol is going directly to the baby through the placenta, and it can damage the brain of the baby. So the babies could have disability for their whole lives. A woman's body processes alcohol, including wine, differently than a man's body. This means women get drunk more quickly and show signs of liver damage earlier. I try as many sweet, fruity tasting wines and grape juices as possibly without breaking my bank account. If I like sweet wine, then I want to know that this times residual sugar. A sugar different to the natural grape sugars that are still presented on the wine, even after fermentations. If the process of fermentations ends and before all the sugar is used up, the wine will contain more residual sugar. So of course the later sugar levels vary from wine to wine. It is measured in grams per liter, and the sweeter wines will have at least 35 grams of residual sugars per liter. Many inexpensive wines try to hide the taste of low-quality grapes with added sugar. That's one reason why sweet wines has a bad reputation as being cheaper or somehow less desirable. However, many high-quality sweet wines achieve extremely complex and nuanced levels of sweetness during the fermentation processes. Alcohol intake above moderated increases the risk of heart diseases and is linked to a higher risk of liver cirrhosis, high blood pressures, cancers of the upper gastrointestinal tract, and strokes. It's also important to note that even in moderation, wine and other types of alcohol are associated with a greater risk of breast cancer. Plus, a new study concluded that more than 5 drinks a week may shorten lifespan.